Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I hope everybody is well. I'm going to kind of pick up from where I left off yesterday, but again, this kind of jumps around because it reviews different situations with the same information. So it's going to be a little bit of jumping around here or there, also because I have thoughts in between and because sometimes you lose your spot in this and it's not easy to re-find it, and then you come across something else. So please be patient with that. Yesterday I kind of left off, and I know I say it in here again, but we'll go over it. I cannot really go over the abuse to children. I will, however, say that we all know about the Corey Feldman and Corey Haim's stories and what they allege happened throughout their careers as child actors. We also have Frodo from the Lord of the Rings actor, Elijah Woods, admitted to the violence against children and basically stuck up for the Coreys. And also helped one of them through some rough times and supported his statements. Robert Downey Jr., Brad Pitt stepped forward to speak out. Main one to speak out is Mel Gibson. You really need to go back and look at statements he has made. These monsters are mainly made up of politicians, very wealthy people. I mean, very extremely wealthy people. That we believe is all part of the Illuminati. Hollywood actors, Hollywood is filled with it, whether they're directors, actors, anybody in powerful positions. Sadly, Disney, I don't know if I already said that, but Disney is completely corrupted. And you'll notice that a lot of these owners of companies, you think they're separate companies. They're not. They're all owned by the same owner, even though they have different names and so forth. They're making you believe you have choices in things, but mainly it all goes back to the same owners, the same money coming in. Again, and I said the most richest people in the world. So it's all people who think they have all this power because they have all this money, or celebrities. Let me take a drink. I'm sorry. Celebrity status, etc. And we all know that goes on in Hollywood because we've seen it. When it can't be hidden anymore, it's come to light. Again, we'll go back to Epstein. And what came of that? And how quick did that case disappear? And what happened to him? We all know was BS. Okay? And these are a little bit of things that came to me in between on a break because I wrote some of this and then I left it alone and then came back. But I seen on a news report yesterday the fake news. They get military people to join groups because they think they can be manipulated because they're destroyed by the military and kind of, the PTSD and what they've seen. And they think that military people join these groups, as they call them, because they need help and they're easily manipulated. And it's a bunch of BS. And really, you want to help them now because you think you put out there that they're so damaged that they're manipulated and, we need to help them out a little bit more. Well, why weren't you helping them prior to that? Why would it take something like this to start helping them? They work for you, they fight for you, they secure you, they protect you, and yet you don't want to do anything for them until something big happens, like what happened in Washington, which is what they were talking about at the Oval Office. And let me tell you something, just because they stated it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And if it does happen, it's to try to brainwash them in other ways, because it's all a corrupt society. Okay, it's all BS. Stop listening to the fake news. And it leads you nowhere but to distraction and manipulation. Okay, and like I said, now they're saying that they need more help. Stop listening to fake news. It is run by corrupt people, which tells them what to say and put out there. We all know that. And I'm going to get more into that towards the end, because again, that's my thoughts on a different story that was put out yesterday, and that's going to be covered, surprisingly, in this segment. Okay, and again, these are my opinions on what I'm researching and what I think and what I agree with and what I don't agree with. Okay? Just in case I don't remember saying it in the beginning, and I probably didn't, so I'm going to say it now, and there it is. Okay. Something else that was brought up is they use I don't even know if I want to say this on here, but I'm going to skip that one because I think you're better off seeing it in the documentary. As far as ending pregnancy, and I know I'm going to tick a whole lot of people off, and I really don't care because of what I've seen through my life with certain people, which I'm about to mention. Oh, well. This is my opinion. Ending a pregnancy should not be legal, especially when it's used as a type of birth control, which I have seen many a times throughout my life, that girls think they can just be irresponsible, go get knocked up, and I'll take care of it at the abortion center. No, that is not the way it works. And it's not okay or moral, or I don't even have words for that. Okay? If you want to go and screw up your own life, go screw up your own life. But you don't have the right to go screw up and then take somebody else's. You don't. Sorry. Not okay with it. But, however, I will say this. I believe only in cases of violence that a baby was conceived and is in early stages, when you first find out, that is the only way I believe you should be able to do that. I don't believe somebody should have to pay the price of a violent crime. Which, again, as soon as you find out, it's not as bad as when you sit there and let it grow and then decide to rip it apart. And y'all really need to go watch the movie that portrays that. And it's a documentary kind of about, they made it into a movie about what a woman that worked at one of those facilities realized and then was not okay with it. I forget the name of it, but I'll try to look it up. Okay. Not later, like I said, in the pregnancy, that is murder. It is no longer your choice about your body. It is about another life, which is not yours now to decide to take. There are other steps and measures to take not to conceive at all. You should be more responsible. This is about life and death. You should know that life and a life is a very special, is very special, a blessing, and not treat a life like it is just so easily disposable. That is very disgusting and immoral. Or there's other options. Not only is it a blessing with the ability to have that blessing or experience that miracle, which is so sad when people like the ones who think it is okay to just dispose of a precious life, miracle, blessing, is just no big deal. Just, I don't want to use that word, basically end its life and throw it away. Well, I guess I could use it. You're basically murdering it and throwing it away. Should be, and the ones who do that shouldn't be the ones to be blessed to even conceive. There are people out there ready to adopt, and I hope I read all that right, because I wrote in pencil and it's very hard for my eyes. I should have stayed with the black ink. But to sum it up, people use abortion as just another birth control method. They don't care if they get pregnant. They take care of it later. There's other options as well. You can give it up for adoption. Not everybody is blessed to have a child. They'd be glad to adopt. There's no reason to be selfish and immoral and disgusting and just think that you can dispose of a life like it's just nothing because it's your body. But now you have a life inside your body, and that life doesn't deserve to be just disposed of and ripped apart to be disposed of. And it feels every bit of that. Any doctor knows that as soon as it starts developing, its nervous system is the first thing. And in that movie, it shows you they're actually doing one and the fetus is moving away from the needles and whatever else they're using. So it knows, it feels, and you have no right to do that to another life. A baby is a blessing. I don't care if you feel it's a mistake or not. It doesn't have to be your blessing. Again, there are plenty of other people out there that would be happy to take that blessing. Again, and I'm not talking about victims of assault. I'm talking about people who just are irresponsible. And it should never be allowed to be done after a certain period. I will never be okay with that. And that's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. And if you don't like it, sorry. That's the only opinion I will go to battle for. Life is just too precious. It's way too precious. And I look at every one of my kids, whether they're the biggest pain in the butt or not, they're my lives that I brought here. And that I was very proud to bring here. And thank God I was blessed to be able to do so. Okay. One of the wealthiest men in the world, George Soros, the one behind all the riots and the immigration walk caravan, as they call, paid people $15 an hour in fake news. Here is not, $15 an hour to do the fake, to act in their fake news. Like I said, I think I spoke about it yesterday. They hire actors now, and they put on fake news. You'll see that some people have shown up in attacked situations 3 times, 4 times, There's been actors reused in these things where if you really look through them, you'll find them. You also won't see, supposedly, which is in the pictures, people who are poor marching around with brand new clothes, book bags, cell phones, every one of them wearing brand new flip-flops, hair, nails, everything done. If you're in a poor country that is under devastation, you are going to be a mess. And you are not going to look clean. You are not going to be walking around in brand new Disney stuff, or your children being pulled around in brand new buggies, and etc., etc., etc. It's ridiculous. The proof is there. Go watch it. Fake news here is not going to put that out. People who didn't get paid came forward when they didn't get their money, but also you could see the evidence in the pictures they used. All a scam to manipulate the people, so you vote the way they want you to, keeping them in power behind the scenes. Wake up, the proof is out there. Again, more proof and details. Go watch. I can't give you every single detail of this thing. You have to go watch. You have to see it. And I'm telling you, you really need to go see it, watch it till the end, and then make your opinion. Make sure you watch it. I'm already halfway through. And I've watched it over and over again several times to make sure that I got all the information I needed out of it. And some parts I didn't even want to watch. But I know you have to get what you need. And the information you need. Okay. Again, more proof details, go watch. I'm only able to give you pieces in my opinion on it. I cannot put out all the information I would like to, due to censorship and violations of my free speech and my rights, and your rights, which again should tell you all you need to know. It is time to see and accept the truth right now. None of us are free. Wake up. And we're not free. If we were free, we wouldn't have to check with the government and check with I should say check with basically all government agencies to do whatever you want to do. Whether it be with you, your property, your whatever. You're not free. You don't get to make choices. They make them for you. And if they can't make them directly for you, they will set up a scene to brainwash you, manipulate you into making the choice they want you to make. You don't get to watch what you want to watch. You don't get to live how you want to live. This is not free. This is far from free. And everything they put out there is either a distraction or fake. And it's to keep you where they want you. It is time for you to develop your own mind, your own thoughts, and get out of your fogged little brain that they've brainwashed and see it for what it is. And I'm telling you, this documentary is an awakening, as was Sicko for me when I was a little bit younger. Sad he turned out to be a traitor, in my opinion. Okay. Again, this all was done to divide us even more. They go low hitting with race, religion, politics, etc. You all need to you all that keep falling for it really need to stop. You guys got to quit falling for the BS. And come on, this religion thing has been over a long time ago. they use fear in you, that you will always feel like you're back there in that situation. And so the fear keeps you defending and fighting when none of us really care anymore. Look how many relationships are married into other religions. Look how many relationships are married or dating into other races. Look how many relationships and families have come together, no matter if it's race, religion, politics, whatever. There are many relationships that one's a Democrat, one's a Republican. And they choose just not to talk about politics in their home. That way there's no fights. You don't have to fight with everybody and each other, because it's not anybody out here, as far as among us people, that give a care. It's the 1%. It's the rich, the wealthy, the corrupt. But they use that because they know it's a fear of yours, and it'll get to you, and it'll cause you anger and to attack other people. Stop playing their puppet. Decide to be your own person and fight your own fight. Especially for these kids. There's a lot of freaking kids out there who need our help. And unless we unite, these kids will never be saved. They will never know what freedom is, or not to be hurt or victimized. Wake up. It's time to stand together, which is their biggest fear, and put a stop to this. Come on, people. This is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not the freedom. This is not what our lives are supposed to be like. This is not the way children are supposed to grow up, or be taught, or go through, or suffer. Oh, and another thing I want to bring up that I haven't seen in the documentary yet. The cure for cancer. 2 different doctors have tried to bring that out. Or was it a doctor and a scientist? Basically, same studies. Both ended up gone. Again, I don't know how much I can say or in what words I can use, but you know what I mean. They're not here on this earth no more, because they were wanting to put out the cure. The cure has been made. The cure does exist. And how many sick children in St. Jude's suffer? But you know who owns these hospitals and gets this money and makes money off of sick kids? Think about it. All the medications, all the treatments that cost ridiculous amount of money here in America, that cost almost nothing anywhere else. It's better for them if we are sick. Do you notice that everywhere now, that and every other day you're hearing about people hurting other people? And how many husbands are, I have to say it, murdering their families, their wives, their children. How many people seem to be going crazy lately? Maybe it's what they pump into our air, and they pump into our medication, and they pump into everything else, our foods, and that's what they say. If they keep us sick and they make us crazy, they can control us. How much craziness have you seen in the last year between all of that and now locking us down? Do you think it's just normal that this has happened? These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. These are also a lot of other people's. What do you think? I would love some comments below on what you think. I would love like 50 subscribers to start some lives. Let's discuss it. Get some friends together. Let's talk about it. Okay. The Clintons. Corruption finally exposed. Fake news would never tell you the truth. Definitely not the whole truth. Do your research. Bigger than you could ever imagine. More corruption surrounds this family than you could ever know, because for a very long time they have had protection, even to the point of people that spoke up being found dead. Also, fake news. Why did I write that? I just want to see really quick. I thought this. Okay. I don't know. I think I was getting ready to write something else, or maybe I skipped to another page. But I don't know why I wrote also fake news. But let's skip that part. Or maybe because I put that they wouldn't cover it, because they're not going to put it out there. So the Clintons have been in many corruption schemes. They've been involved in a lot of things that were inappropriate. And they are involved in more than you could ever imagine as far as being tied into inappropriate things. Hillary Clinton has been so protected that they censor things. People who've talked against her have ended up dead. She has her protection out there to keep her in some power, and also was trying to get her voted into presidency. Any other woman? Maybe. Not her. She's one of the biggest corruptions. And understand that Obama was hanging out with them before he was ever elected. They were prepping him. They already knew he was going into office. Again, that should show you that your vote really doesn't matter. They were prepping him. They knew. And they used his face and good looks and this and that, and the fact that he supposedly was black but denies he's black and everything else to get him elected. And again, he is just as corrupt as the rest of them. And I said it, that this was the poker face, the fool, and everybody, oh no, it's going to be different. He's just as corrupt as the Clintons. And again, fake news will not tell you any of that. And I think that's why I put it at the end. I think I just wrote it wrong. They're not going to say anything about anything that this documentary says, that you will find out in digging into your research. It'll never be put out on fake news, because fake news controls what we are allowed to know and hear, which again is a violation of our trust, and it's a violation of our rights. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. I just want to say real quick, I thought the same way as Janet when I was young. Republicans are rich, the Democrats go for the poor or middle class, and it was just the two fighting against each other. Bull. They're all working together, they're all one, and they're all to do for themselves and their friends and their family, like I've been saying throughout this whole series of videos, that they're all corrupt. All of them. And they all work together. And they're all best friends behind the scenes. And I have to say, I've been learning about one person that I tried to dig into and I really couldn't get nothing out of. And I had a 90% okay with and a 10% not okay with. And it seems like he might have been 100%. So we'll get into that more later. Okay. I thought the same way as Janet when I was young. Came to find the same questions, thoughts, etc. as her, as I kind of told you in the beginning of all of this. Today it is more clear than ever. If you have the same questions, the same thoughts, the same wonders, then look and do your research. You will find the answers. They are not so well hidden anymore. They are out there, as her documentary tells. And all those who have spoken out, you have to watch the full documentary to get more information and details. She has had the time and did a phenomenal job putting it all together for us. Go watch. Go watch. I can't go into violence against children on here. You must go watch. You have to stop denying the truth, though. And though you won't want to watch that part of the segment, you have to. You have to. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, you have to. Sorry, guys. Because not doing it, not knowing it, not watching it, not paying attention to it, not wanting to is denial. And denial is not going to help these kids. Denial is not going to help you find the truth. Most of all, help the kids that are involved in this, that are being victimized. You cannot help them by denying the truth. We need to put a stop to it. Also, protect these innocent children. Also, look into Pizzagate. As the fake news tried to cover it up and wash it out and make it non-true, it's very true. It's in the documentary. Go watch it. It's a very, very disturbing thing. Very sick art involved. I wouldn't even call it art. I would call it disgusting and not art. It's vulgar. It's disgusting. It's horrendous. There's evil. That's all I can say. Evil. There's no other way to describe it. It's the worst of the worst. How these minds are even allowed to continue to be around or walk this earth is beyond me. There's been millions paid to censor for Hillary, and also in protection for Hillary and her family. Censorship is blocking our rights to the truth and violating our rights. Transparency with our government is null and void. It does not exist. And again, that is to keep control and feed you fake news to keep you where they want you. And if you keep allowing that, you won't have choices at all anymore. Even though we have very little now, you will have nothing. Federal banking scam. It's a scam. There is no federal banking. Federal banking is owned by private people. Again, go back to the very wealthy and rich. The three names I gave you yesterday, and then also this one I just gave you today. The one who paid all the actors, Sarasso, or I don't remember his name. Don't care to remember him. George Sarasa. Bill Gates. Top of the list in this. Bill Gates, one of the most corrupted, which I've never liked Bill Gates. I got nothing, never had nothing nice to say about him. I've always known he's been corrupt. Some people just have feelings and instincts. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all corrupt. All part of that. Many actors, many Hollywood people. and so on. Don't trust any of them. They're in it for the money, they're in it for the power, and they're in it to victimize people. Again, not federal. It is owned by very wealthy people to control us and to make sure that we end up paying very, very high interest rates to keep their billions and trillions flowing in. Mainstream media is our worst enemy. It is all propaganda, which is ideas or statements that are often false and exaggerated and that are spread in order to help a government, etc. In 1950, Operation Mockingbird was a fully implemented CIA program to spread disinformation throughout American media. CIA Director William Colby testified to the Church Committee that over 400 CIA agents were active in the U.S. media to control what was reported through American mainstream television, newspapers, and magazines. William Casey, CIA Director of 1981. Well, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. If y'all tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Joseph Goebbels, a Nazi propaganda minister. Is it still ongoing today? Absolutely. Absolutely. It went from 1950 to the 1981 to right now, where a journalist is apologizing. Sorry for lying to the public for over 25 years. He feels so guilty for all the trouble that he knows he's been a part of causing in wars and attacks and etc. and fooling the public. He is embarrassed. Is it still going on? Absolutely. I just want to make sure I went over this one too. Yep, I went over the censorship, the rights, the blocking. This was page 2. Clinton's. And as my light fades and I start looking like I'm holding a flashlight to my face, we will finish up here. One thing you're not going to want to believe, but it's all over. Look at our Academy Awards and what people were wearing that was absolutely disgusting. And our football halftime show and what was played in there that people were saying they found certain things going on in and certain clues. After you watch this documentary, it will all make sense. Cannibalism, Satan, cults, worshiping. Look, it is right out there in front of you. You can see and make sense of the signs during the halftime break show for the NFL football Super Bowl. If it did not make sense before, it will definitely make sense after you watch this. It is definitely there. All the signs are there. All their little insignias that they use for certain things are plastered all over. All the sick, corrupted things they are into. There's signs all over it. You will see it clearly, much, much more clearly if you watch the documentary and go back. Because before I seen the documentary, I can honestly say I knew what was going on, but when I went to look into the video, I didn't know what I was looking for because people were saying it was quite clear. And it wasn't. It was not quite clear to me because I wasn't given the signs yet. But the signs are very telling, and the signs are there. The signs, you have to know what to look for and what they mean, because when you're in a cult, you talk in codes, and you use codes. I can't take that. I don't want to look like, and then it looks worse kind of when I put too much light, but it still looks like I'm holding a flashlight. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Whatever. And it's never right after dark. It always looks worse. Anyways, you'll know what to look for. You'll know what to see. And when I didn't even have to go back to the video, because I remember looking at certain things when they said the tigers and what they were made of and this and that. And all I had to do was look at the signs they showed me in that documentary of the coding, which there's evidence. It's not just like they're telling you. They're showing you the evidence of where this has been seen before. And also emails from certain people to certain people who are using these codes. Jewelry that is worn with these codes. Businesses that are made with these codes. Okay? And all I had to do was picture back. And I knew exactly what they were talking about. On top of course, I'll just say meat dress and shoes, the disgusting outfit. Very disgusting. It's all right there. So, again, go watch the documentary. Find out for yourself. You don't believe it? Watch it and see. See how you feel after you watch it. After you watch the whole thing. The Fall of Cabal. Go watch it. I am almost to an hour and I don't want to get there. And I'm so sick of talking about this. I don't even want to think about it anymore. And I've watched it over and over again just to make sure I can get as much detail as I can for you guys without disrupting my channel. I hope you guys join, subscribe, leave me some comments below, and wake up. I love you guys. See you soon. I will see you on my next video. Good night. I love you guys.